No, there's not any vitamins. Let's go back to this. Page 58. In this review paper. In this booklet. And then we may use your passage report too. Excuse me. 58. Vitamins. Vitamins are essential organic constituents found in many food products and necessary for normal metabolic functions. Maybe either water soluble or fat soluble. So we'll look at those two. Fat soluble vitamins accumulate in large stores, primarily in the liver. Deficiencies may lead to disease after periods of restricted intake. Excessive intake may result in toxicity. Water-soluble vitamins are easily eliminated by the kidneys on a daily basis. So your fat-soluble vitamins are generally associated with the liver versus the water-soluble ones, which are the kidneys. Now, usually if you take an excessive amount of water-soluble vitamins, your body can just get rid of them pretty easily, unless it's just like crazy excessive. But, like I said, the fat-soluble vitamins, if you get an excessive intake of those, it's a different story. Then you can actually get toxic. Okay, so here's the water-soluble vitamins. Now, there's lots of these listed because of all the B vitamins, but you've got specific B vitamins, and you'll see some of these on online too. So thiamine says it's a coenzyme in carb metabolism. Deficiency results in beriberi, which is it's a malnutrition disease. So look. Get this from pork, livers, kidney, whole cereal, grains. That's where we see that one. Riboflavin, you've probably seen a lot of these. If you ever looked at the cereal boxes, whenever I was a kid, I always read the cereal box. I would know the cereal box forward and backward every day from sitting and reading. I don't know. That's weird. Anyways, this one says maintains integrity of mucous membranes. Get this from milk, liver, kidney, cereals, green veggies. Vitamin B3 involved in fat synthesis. Vitamin B5 says deficiencies may result in fatigue, headache, sleepiness, nausea, GI pain, coordination disturbances. B6. Get this from plants and animals. B9, folic acid. Folic acid is particularly important for during the very beginning of pregnancy because you need folic acid in order for the baby's central nervous system to form correctly, so their brain and spinal cord. That is formed within the first 8 weeks of pregnancy. Most people don't even know they're pregnant. So folic acid, though, is really important to get during that time period because of that. B12, cyanocobalamin. This is have y'all ever, did any of y'all see whenever we're doing maybe with home health, they gave a vitamin B12 shot. It looks like Kool-Aid when they give it in in an injection. It's red, looks red. Excuse me. And I cannot for the life of me think of the brand name of that drug. Oh my goodness. I'll look it up in a minute. But look, deficiency is seen in pernicious anemia. And you'll see that pernicious anemia, they need a vitamin B12 shot. Usually, though, it's given an IM. Sometimes people go to their doctor to get it. Biotin deficiency is characterized by dermatitis and anorexia. And then vitamin C, the other name for vitamin C is ascorbic acid, and that's one that you'll definitely want to know as well. Look, it prevents scurvy. Remember, there was there's a story about scurvy. So ascorbic acid is vitamin C. It's important to know. Okay, fat, those are all water-soluble vitamins. Okay, now fat-soluble vitamins, you've got A, D, E, and K. A, D, E, and K. I don't know. We may have a way to remember that. I don't know. But anyways, A is retinol, prevents keratomalacia. D, a couple other things. Look, you see both of these, ergocalciferol, cholecalciferol. This has to do with your calcium as well. So look, prevents rickets. Do y'all remember probably last year, maybe we looked at a couple of pictures of rickets, and that's where when babies are growing up or kids are growing up, their legs like bow out because they have not, like their bones haven't hardened, and so they literally like curve. I know we've looked at pictures of them before, but anyways, rickets is like, I mean, their legs will just bow, and I'm not talking about like bow like cowboy bow legs. I'm talking like they bow way out or maybe bow way in. I mean, they're just deformed that way. That's rickets. Osteomalacia is what? Osteomalacia.
What's bone something?
Bone softening.
Softening?
Malacia is softening. So the same idea as rickets, but rickets is like the disease in children. Vitamin E says deficiency is characterized by irritability, edema, hemolytic anemia. And hemolytic would mean like blood destroying anemia. So they would be anemic because their blood cells are not whole. They just kind of destroy them. And then vitamin K helps to form prothrombin. Remember what medication did we talk about? Vitamin K is the antidote for what? What do you need to know?
It's an antidiuretic. No, it's not a diuretic, is it?
It is an anti-something. Anticoagulant. But which medicine is it? Specific medicine. What does an anticoagulant do?
It's bleeding.
Yes, prevents
Clotting.
clotting. So what medication?
Coumadin?
Coumadin. Yes, vitamin K is the antidote for Coumadin or warfarin. And Coumadin, warfarin, that's the brand name. And so look, you get this from leafy green vegetables like we talked about. That's why people who are taking Coumadin don't need to increase their intake of leafy green vegetables and other things that have a lot of vitamin K. It'll counteract that Coumadin. Okay. I will show you, let me show you a picture of rickets real quick. So you'll kind of have that in your head. Now this is associated, like I said, with vitamin D.
I really want some sweet bugs. I don't know what, but I just call something some sweet bugs. What?
Okay, let me show you. Here's a picture of rickets. Come on.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay, so bone deformities because their bones won't harden because they don't have that vitamin D in order to be able to store their calcium. Okay, or hang on to that calcium.
Is it like fixed when they get older?
No, I mean this is like their bones have formed this way. There's another one. You can see that one's bowed. I can't tell much about that one. You can still see here even arms. You can see they're curved out. Again. So,
Can they walk?
I'm sure that they have.
So they learn.
Yeah.
It's just a different way.
But anyway, so that's rickets. That's associated with vitamin D deficiency. Let's look real quick. Actually, let's look at the vitamins paper and pass assured, and then we'll get back to minerals in a minute. Again, fat-soluble vitamins are A, D, E, and K. So think fat-soluble goes with the liver because liver helps to metabolize fats, okay? Versus water-soluble are usually going to be kidney-associated. Okay, so if you're looking at your past assured, vitamin A, skin and vision, vitamin D, calcium regulation, bone formation, like we said, that's related to the rickets. Vitamin E is reproduction in skin, usually associated, and then we know that vitamin K is to promote clotting. Water soluble, of course, they're soluble in. Oh, and notice the fat soluble vitamins are stored in fatty tissues. Okay, makes sense. And again, fat soluble vitamins you can get a toxicity of because they're stored, versus water soluble, whatever extra you get is just filtered out through the kidneys. Okay, gives you more of the vitamins. I need to look up that vitamin B12. I don't. That is like an everyday medicine, and I don't know why I can't think of it because I've tried, I guess.
Oh, what color are you gonna do? Color?
Okay, maybe that's why I can't think of it because it's just vitamin B12. I thought it had another. I was thinking it had another name, but I guess it's just vitamin B12. So there you go. Cyanocobalamin, though, that's one that you'll want to know both of those names for sure. Okay, and I guess that's it on here, really. Look, vitamin C, large doses may cause kidney stones. These you just want to be careful of. There's different tests that they can do to see if you get a toxicity. But that's one thing to be careful of, just to know those. You can separate them into fat soluble versus water soluble. That will help you in learning them as far as like the test taking goes and all of that. Okay, let's look at minerals. Here, we'll look at them on here since we've already got this past assured open, and then we'll go back to the other paper. So on the past assured paper, minerals, calcium we know is involved in bone formation. Okay, we know that's what helps to harden our bones, so we need those. Activating and relaxing smooth muscle, and then nerve impulse transmission. Remember calcium, we talked about like in that transmission, of a nerve impulse from one neuron to another. Remember there at the very end of those axon terminals where the neurotransmitters come out and go on to the next neuron. Remember talking about that? Neurotransmitters that pass the message to the next neuron. Calcium is involved in the release of those neurotransmitters. So if we don't have calcium, that doesn't get released like it needs to. Iodine we know is related to the thyroid. So if you see something about iodine, think thyroid. It's what our thyroid needs iodine to function. If you don't get enough iodine, that's when people get those goiters. I think we looked at a picture of a goiter in our book the other day. So in anatomy, those goiters, it's like an enlarged thyroid. Magnesium, we need it for bone, protein, new cells, blood clotting, insulin function, lots of things. Phosphorus, potassium, we know we need it. Water balance, regulating muscle contractions because that sodium potassium pump. Protein and glycogen synthesis, nerve transmission. Remember, we need potassium and sodium, how they flip-flop. That's what causes that depolarization. Says this electrolyte can become depleted with the use of diuretics, coffee, and alcohol. And we know diuretics. Remember, we talked about that extensively, I feel like. Sodium and then iron. We need it your body needs iron. Blood cells need iron in order to carry oxygen. Hemoglobin needs iron to function. And hemoglobin on your blood cells is what actually carries the oxygen. So that's why, whenever you're donating blood, they don't actually, I know you think, okay, they say, oh, we're checking your iron level. They're not really checking your iron level. They're checking your hemoglobin level. But your hemoglobin has to have iron to function. So that's what they're checking for. Okay, so let's look back on here and look at minerals is listed at the top of page 59 on this paper. Stop coughing. Minerals, calcium, like we just said, muscle function. This one adds in chromium and copper. Iodine, again, thyroid. Associate iodine and thyroid. Iodine and thyroid, those go together. Iron, we know, is blood cells. Magnesium, potassium, sodium. And now potassium, usually if there's a deficiency, if you have hypokalemia or hyperkalemia, it involves neuron transmission, but it also involves the heart. Okay, usually you'll see that associated there. That's where you'll see it kind of take its form out. It'll cause arrhythmias in the heart if you have a potassium imbalance, either hypo or hyper, either one. Sulfur, and then it has zinc on there. Okay, so that is that. There is a list of like herbs that people use, kind of natural supplements on here if you come across some of those while you're doing your practice test. So you can use that if you need it. Other than that,
Finally